Hi there, thanks so much for watching this video. I am going to be talking about the topic of kratom, or like some people say, kratom. It is an Indonesian herb. It's all plant-based, a plant that has been around for a long time in that part of the world, and people have seen and used it and seen benefits of medicinal healings like pain, anxiety, depression. Suppresses appetite, it gives you energy. It is part of the coffee plants, I believe, and it is a stimulant, but it has different strands, so you could see multiple uses for it depending on which one. The reason I want to share this is because I am a long-term kratom user. I listened to a podcast about the opioid epidemic. I just cannot believe the amount of people addicted to opiates and then struggling and then finding it so hard that they commit suicide or something happens to them and they go on to stronger drugs. And it's all due to pharmaceuticals pushing this. And now this is where it gets tricky because as kratom becomes more popular, obviously the pharmaceutical industry and the government doesn't want this to be something you're taking, and curing yourself and weaning yourself off of. It wants your money to be on the doctors and pharmaceuticals, etc. So don't want to get in too much into that, but I will share my story. It is my story. It is 100% factual. Okay, so my story is I was in a motorcycle accident when I was about 28. It was pretty bad. I was in the trauma center for a week, and of course started taking, well, I was given morphine there, and then I started taking Vicodin, and which had led to sometimes Oxycontin, but mostly Vicodin, and continue. I got it prescribed. Obviously, it was for pain. But doctors would continue to prescribe it, and it went on for many years. A decade. So yeah. So here it is into this hardcore addiction where if you look at it and you do the breakdown, because they're pushing this drug on a patient that has I would have to go get MRIs and all that for my knees, make sure that it shows that it's a legitimate injury. I had to make an appointment for everything, so I had to see a doctor, which was at least $30 copay, which then the prescription was covered, so it was like, say, $10. I was roughly spending about $50 to $100 a month whenever I needed to go get extra things like an MRI or something like that. A time where I believe in like 2013 or so, they tried to start cutting back on the refill prescription drugs on opiates, and which is it just blows my mind because if I'll leave some links, but if you read about how sneaky, like this company called Purdue Pharma came in and just pushed the drugs on the medical industry for their patients to get kickbacks, to say that Oxycontin wasn't something addictive or wasn't as bad, and you still heard rumors of yes, this is addictive, you don't want to take this, so why are you giving it to me? Like, that's what blows my mind. But anyways, they pushed it on patients. Obviously it helps temporarily, like for that second, and then it wrecks your life. So and there's many awful drugs out there that do that, and one of them that nearly like killed me twice was called tramadol. I've had so many people have had bad experience with that. That is also a pain reliever, but it is like horrible side effects and horrible withdrawals. So you get the the industry pushing this on doctors, prescribing it, it gets a little out of control. Then you have the FDA or whoever come in and try to ban the use of it by cutting back on refillable prescriptions for opiate controlled substances. So you'd have to go see your doctor every month to get it refilled. And this is just surfacing. This has been going on for decades, or for more than a decade, and it's just awful. They've killed so many people. If you do the research, it shows they've killed more people have died on the opiate epidemic than in Vietnam. It is absolutely just atrocity of how many souls they've killed in this. This is definitely the drug war, this pharmaceutical thing. So you could tell I'm a little angry about it, but it did hurt me. It did paralyze me for a long time, and I was lucky enough to come across Kratom when I did. And at the time, doctors were starting to cut back on prescribing you pain and sending you to a pain management specialist. Now, I did that as well, and so you go through these stages, and once they can't deal with you anymore, they send you to a pain specialist organization. There, it was just horrible and I tried my hardest when I would go, because I always see different people. I never saw a doctor, always saw nurse practitioners, and they would prescribe me, or maybe it came from the doctor, but there was no alternatives to coming off of this drug, basically. And they try to give me gabapentin, which is another one that wrecks your life. And I'll leave links about that. Now, I did my own research, and I started slow, and I started with nutrition, and I started then researching and came across an interview with John Lear, which is, because I'm like a ufologist, sort of. Not really, but that stuff fascinates me. I follow him, and he was highly addicted to pain medication, and his friend, which is Bob Lazar, who has a movie out. If you don't know, check it out. It is then that he told him, you need to check out Kratom. So Kratom's been around for a long time. However, it is just catching on, and thank God it has. So to end this video, I just want to talk a little bit more about Kratom and how I can help you there. And I'll put a video on how to make the capsules. So Kratom comes in different strands. You have yellow, white, green, and red. Or trying it to come off of painkillers, I'd recommend the red strand. The red strand is, it focuses on pain, and it is somewhat of a sedative, so it's a bit stronger. If you're looking for energy and more of a boost, the green and the yellow are some of the ones that I've seen help with that. So Kratom has some side effects when you use too much. So dosing yourself is very important in what your body can take and how it can handle. So the more you take, usually you could end up getting sick, like throwing up. You could have constipation. You can end up dosing so much that you get tired instead of feeling the energy. I do something called a toss and wash, and that's where you put it in the back of your tongue, and then you take a drink of something, and it just goes down. And you're kind of bypassing the area in your tongue where there's taste buds. So that's why, I've done it enough where I don't taste it anymore because it has a very bitter taste. And if you can do that, just be careful because some people have choked on that powder. If you're interested, there's also different types of capsules that are a little bigger that you take and you swallow. And then you can also take it as a tea. So you put warm water, your dosage, and some honey, and drink it, and it's a nice like flavor because of the honey, and it's like a tea. So there are different forms of taking it. There's many vendors that sell you the herb in the powder form or the capsules. If you're interested in making your own, once you find, a flavor that really works for you, then I would recommend buying the capsules, which you can buy on Amazon, and making your own. It saves you lots of money, and that's what I recommend. So first, I think if you're trying to get off the painkillers, just find the strand that works best for you. Start looking around. I'll leave some links, or please message me. I'm more than happy to share my experience. I buy my Kratom from Indonesia. I have a very good friend who I've purchased from, and he's very honest and clean. This stuff is high quality and is actually way cheaper. You're saving yourself money. So if you have an interest and want to message me, please let me know. Thanks. So what we're showing now is the beginning process of creating Kratom pills. This is how we do it, and we have seen that it's more cost effective than actually buying them from a vendor. It's really easy to do as well, and so you're going to need the machine or the little mold here that you use to fill the pills. Then you need empty gel capsules, which we have size 00 showing there, and last but not least, you need your herb, your Kratom. So it's going to be at least 4 grams to at least feel something, or have a dosage in the morning and at night. So, but again, they last a long time when you do this process. So here we have all of the capsules in there. Zoom in. You can't see them, but they're ready to be filled. This powder is very, I don't even know how to compare it, like flour or something maybe, the consistency. So you just have to be careful because it just gets everywhere. You want to preserve what you're not using in a container because it does smell pretty strong. Okay, so once you've packed it really, really tight, you add the top portion, and you have to press down pretty hard a few times, and it's just sealing them in, and they're done. So you want to see them kind of tight, like I said. If you don't take the time to press down, then you'll get some empty spots in your gel capsules. So you won't be taking a full dosage. Again, if you take about 4 or 5 of these, it's about 4 grams. And that's it. And you're ready to start your dosage. So how many are in there? 100? Yep. Perfect. So just keep one of your old medicine prescriptions, the big one, fits perfectly in here. And yeah, so ditch the prescription big pharma meds and switch to something natural. Thanks for watching.